I work at a grocery store. Not just any grocery store. It's a grocery store I will not name. It's a little more local. I mean, we have locations all over the country, but you wouldn't think of it off the top of your head unless you lived where I live. And the location of this grocery store brings in quite a bit of clientele. It's not the most proper or etiquette-wise side of town. I'd say it's quite the opposite actually. So you get flavors of all types at this establishment. And I tell you, working there has to be more dangerous than being in the military some days. And you're about to find out with a couple of examples I'm going to give you in today's Fire Story Time. Story Time with Fire. I think that rolls off the tongue just a little bit better. One of the first examples, and we're going to start off with a heavy hitter, was the time I got threatened to get shot. So there was this fellow. One night I was working the night shift with me and my buddy. We were talking, conversating because it was relatively empty. There was only like 5 or so people in the store, and they weren't checking out. I should point out that I am a cashier. So me and my buddy were just talking, waiting to help a customer out and just keeping an eye on things. I noticed a man nearing closer and closer to the entrance of the store with a full cart of food and items. And there are items close to the entrance, but normally people grab those items when they walk through the door, not, midway through shopping. But I give him the benefit of the doubt. I simply point him out to my friends without saying a word, and I just keep an eye on him. My friend, although, seems to lack common sense, I'd say, or he's a bit short-sighted, you could say. And he thought it was funny to call me, negative towards my own race for the sake of demonetization, I will say that. And I'm defending myself, and I didn't notice that the man had circled around and was listening in on us. And he points at me and says, "Is this the guy who says to look out for me?" And I'm trying to defend myself, expecting this guy to be, just a... once again, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's a bit sketchy, but I mean, it's not entirely unlikely that he had positive intentions. But then I noticed him going back over there, and this time he's looking at the water. And now the water bottles we have placed closer to the exit. They're like 24 packs of Niagara water, and are very close to the exit. At this point, my manager is also watching him, and they catch him on the cameras trying to make a run for it. And they catch him on the way out there, and they stop him, and he drives off without any of the items. I thought that was going to be the end of it. Later in the future, this same fellow re-enters the store, despite being banned. He had also not only entered the store, but he entered the store after being in an altercation in the parking lot over a $100 bill. And once again, giving him the benefit of the doubt, he could have been innocent, but history does repeat itself, so I'm not ruling it out that he might have been the culprit. And I tell the manager, who is currently there, it's a different person. She wasn't there. She didn't have the full context. She didn't know his face. I tried to enlighten her, and she was like, well, he might not be allowed in the store, but he did just, get accused of stealing $100, and I'm sure that was pretty bad for him. So let's just let him have it. Let's just let him shop. And so despite my efforts, he gets to go inside freely without any altercations. He called me a coon on the way in, but I guess that's fine. Oh, no, not a coon, my bad, an Uncle Tom. Courtesy of my friend. I guess I have him to thank for that. But lo and behold, you're not going to believe this, but he got caught trying to steal even more food. It was a lot less foods, considering he wasn't there for very long. But it was, who could have saw it coming? I, for one, didn't. That same manager apologized to me after all, so at the end of the day. Not that I'm, bragging about that. I think the safety of the establishment and the preservation of the food and, whatnot is much more valuable than my own self-esteem. But it did feel good to see, hear that you were right. And then thirdly, and this is what it's all leading up to. He comes in there, and this time he's actually buying items. And I didn't even notice he was there, because I myself was also buying a drink, to hydrate myself during my shift. And he says, you gonna snitch on me again today, Uncle Tom? And it's like I said, I wasn't focused on him. I wasn't focused on my surroundings. And he says this to me, and I look up and I see who he is, and I don't respond. I immediately leave and go to my manager. Because fortunately he was working the night, the same manager who caught him and, sent him on his merry way. But the difference is, this time he was much more aggressive, and he was talking about how he was planning on shooting me when I got off work. And another one of my friends, just 1 year younger than me, but I don't think that's excusable for the way he was, aggravating him. He was quite literally trolling him in real life, which would be funny if I was the person he was threatening to shoot. He also was threatening to shoot my friend, but it was just like, wow, it's over for me. I kept telling myself that it was over. It was GG's. I'm gonna end up on a t-shirt by the end of the night. That's crazy. Why did it have to be me? What did I do to deserve this? Fortunately, as you can tell, just by listening to the story, you know that I'm fine. But it was still quite a scary situation for a couple days, until it became increasingly clear that he was never going back to the establishment. He also did get, all I was told is that the cops went to his house and spoke to him, which at the time wasn't very comforting, because I was like, wow, they said they really put him in a timeout corner and just let him free. But maybe there was more severe actions taking place that I just was not informed about. So yeah, that's one of the wacky stories that happened in my establishment. Another thing regarding this same fellow is that he had an accomplice working there at the time. They no longer work there now. They got fired actually 3 days after, because they were talking about my demise. They were practically writing my obituary in Manifest Destiny, and which, that's sweet and all, I guess. I was off that day, so I didn't hear any of it happen. I learned of it the day after I came into work, finding out that person that was their accomplice got fired. So, yeah. That was the story about how I got threatened to be shot at. Now, any sane person would have found a new job by now, but I lost my sanity long ago. You can tell just by going through my content. There are plenty of other wacky situations that have happened at this establishment. I could go on and on about my work life and all the wacky things that come with it, but I think I'll end it there. If you want to hear more stories about my work lives, please let me know down below. I plan on doing these storytime episodes or videos or parts, whatever you want to call them, every Sunday. I want to keep that up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share with someone you think would find this story rather interesting to listen to. And I'll see you in my next video. Fire out.